The handcuffs clicked shut before I even understood what was happening. Cold metal wrapped around my wrists as two officers guided me down my own front steps. The same steps I had scrubbed clean 3 weeks ago, barefoot, laughing, holding a paintbrush and the keys to the first thing I had ever truly owned. My name is Naomi Carter, and the house behind me wasn't just a house. It was proof that I had escaped them. My brother stood on the sidewalk, arms folded, calm and righteous. My parents stood behind him, silent, watching, not stopping it. He used family money. My brother told the officers that house belongs to the family fund. Family fund. A phrase they invented years ago to control everything, every gift, every inheritance, every success that didn't come through them first. I searched my mother's face for something. Doubt, guilt, anything. She looked away. I didn't cry, I didn't beg. I let them put me in the back of the patrol car while my neighbors watched from their windows, whispering. But as the car door shut and the engine started, one thought settled in my mind with perfect clarity. They thought they were taking my house. They had no idea they were handing me everything I needed to end this forever because they had just made one fatal mistake. The holding cell smelled like bleach and old regret. I sat on the metal bench, wrists sore, staring at the blank wall while everything replayed in my head. My brother's calm voice, my parents' silence, the way my mother refused to meet my eyes. They hadn't just accused me, they had agreed with him. An officer eventually opened the door. You can make one call. I already knew who. Not my parents, not anyone who shared their last name. I called Evelyn Pierce, the attorney who handled my house closing. She answered on the second ring. Naomi, they arrested me, I said. He's claiming the house belongs to the family fund. She went quiet. Then did you use any joint accounts? No. Did you sign anything granting them interest? Never. Her voice hardened. Then they just made a very serious mistake. An hour later she arrived, calm, precise, dangerous in a way my family had never understood. They filed a civil claim, she explained, sliding papers across the table, but they escalated it into criminal fraud without evidence. I frowned. What does that mean? She met my eyes. It means they've exposed themselves. She leaned closer because I have the wire transfer records, and those records prove something my brother never thought I'd reveal. The money didn't come from them. It came from somewhere else entirely. Evelyn didn't say anything else until we were alone in the interview room. She placed a folder on the metal table and opened it slowly, like she was unveiling something fragile or explosive. The down payment, she said, tapping the first page, came from an account opened in your name alone, funded 18 months ago. I nodded. I had built that account in silence. Late nights, freelance contracts, bonuses I never mentioned, money I never let them see. But there was more. She flipped to the next page. The final transfer, she continued, came from the trust. My stomach tightened. Not the family fund, not theirs. My grandmother's trust, the one they told me had been exhausted. They didn't know, Evelyn said softly. She created a private sub-account only accessible to you. She amended it 6 months before she passed. My hands went still. They lied. I whispered. Evelyn didn't soften it. Yes, and now they've accused you of stealing what was legally yours. Outside the room I could hear the distant murmur of voices, the machinery of their accusation already grinding forward. Evelyn closed the folder. They forced this into the open, she said, which means they can't hide what they did anymore. For the first time since the handcuffs closed around my wrists, I smiled because they hadn't just attacked me, they had exposed themselves. By morning I was released. No apology, no acknowledgement, just a quiet signature and the removal of the handcuffs like none of it had mattered. But it mattered. Outside the station, Evelyn handed me my phone. It vibrated endlessly. Missed calls, messages, notifications stacking on top of each other like collapsing bricks. My brother had already begun rewriting the story. We're just protecting what's ours, he posted online. My parents liked the post. I stared at it for a long time. Then Evelyn spoke. They filed an emergency motion to freeze the property. My chest tightened. Can they? She shook her head. Not with what I have. She handed me another document. Not just the trust transfer. Not just the wire records. A signed letter from my grandmother's estate attorney confirming the funds were intentionally hidden from the family to protect me from exactly this. She had known. She had seen them clearly. They accused you publicly, Evelyn said, which means we can respond publicly. I looked back at the police station doors at the place where they thought they had broken me. They wanted control, I said quietly. Evelyn nodded. And now, she replied, they've handed us leverage. For the first time since they put me in handcuffs, I wasn't reacting anymore. I was planning and they had no idea what was coming next. 2 days later, they came to the house. Not with police this time. Not with accusations shouted across sidewalks. Just my brother standing stiffly on the porch like he still belonged there. I opened the door, but I didn't invite him in. "You made your point," he said, avoiding my eyes. "You embarrassed the family." I almost laughed. "You had me arrested." He flinched just slightly. "You shouldn't have used Grandma's money behind our backs like I had ever been part of their circle." I held up the letter Evelyn had given me. "She left it to me, not you, not the family fund." "Me?" He stared at the paper like it might disappear if he blinked hard enough. "You're tearing us apart," he said quietly. "No," I replied. "You did that when you called the police." He had no answer for that. Behind him, my parents sat in the car watching, waiting. They still hadn't spoken to me, still hadn't asked if I was okay. He turned to leave. And for the first time, I saw it clearly. They weren't confident anymore. They were afraid because they had crossed a line that couldn't be undone, and now they were the ones who had something to lose. The court date was set faster than they expected. Emergency hearings have a way of accelerating truth, especially when someone misuses the legal system as a weapon. Evelyn sat beside me in the courtroom, calm and precise, across the aisle. My brother avoided looking at me. My parents sat behind him, rigid, their confidence thinner now, their silence heavier. Their attorney stood first. He spoke about family assets, misappropriated funds, and shared inheritance. He made it sound clean, reasonable. Then Evelyn stood. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She handed the judge the trust documents, the wire transfers. The estate attorney's signed letter confirming my grandmother had deliberately protected those funds from the rest of the family. The judge read quietly, then looked up. "Miss Carter," he said to my brother, "this property is not part of any shared family fund." The words landed like gravity shifting. Evelyn didn't stop there. She presented the arrest report. The fraud claim filed without evidence. The escalation that had put handcuffs on my wrists. The judge's expression hardened. This court takes false criminal allegations very seriously. For the first time, my brother looked afraid, not angry, not confident, afraid, because the accusation that was meant to destroy me was now unraveling them. The judge didn't rule immediately. He leaned back, fingers steepled, studying the room, the evidence, the timeline, the intent. Then he spoke. "The civil claim is dismissed. The property remains solely under Miss Carter's ownership." My brother's shoulders dropped. My mother inhaled sharply behind him, but the judge wasn't finished. "This court is also referring the fraudulent criminal complaint for further review." The room went silent. My brother turned pale. My father finally looked at me, not with anger, but with something new, regret. They had expected to intimidate me. Instead, they had exposed themselves. Outside the courtroom, Evelyn turned to me. "You're free," she said simply. "Free not just from the charges, from them, my brother T. Ride to speak as we passed." "Naomi," I didn't stop walking. For years, I had carried their expectations, their control, their belief that anything I built would always belong to them. Not anymore. Outside, the air felt different, lighter, because they hadn't just lost the house. They had lost their power over me. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't fighting to keep something. I was walking away with everything. 3 days later, the official notice arrived, not for me, for them. The district attorney had opened an investigation into the false criminal complaint. Filing fraud charges without evidence wasn't just petty, it was illegal. They had tried to weaponize the system, and now the system was looking back at them. My brother called once. I let it ring. My mother left a voicemail. Her voice sounded smaller than I had ever heard it. We didn't think it would go this far. I listened to it only once. Then I deleted it. That afternoon, I walked through my house slowly. Sunlight fell across the hardwood floors I had chosen myself. The walls still smelled faintly of fresh paint. Every corner carried proof of something they never believed I could do on my own. This house wasn't just property, it was independence. It was truth. It was mine. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet. No police cars, no accusations, no watching eyes, just peace. They had tried to take everything from me, my home, my name, my freedom. Instead, they had exposed their lies and handed me the one thing they could never reclaim, my life.